Bonjour everyone and welcome back to the Waves of Your Soul readings. I'm so excited to be doing this spring 2025 reading for all of my signs. For those of you who are new here, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you. My name is Maureen. I'm your humble French tarot reader, and today we're going to be looking at spring 2025. So March, April, and May. There's going to be a different video for all of my signs. For this reading, I have lots of fun decks I'm going to be using. All the names of the decks are going to be in the description box if I have any fellow deck goblins. And if you are, I encourage you to check out my second channel, The Waves of Your Soul, where I share with you my love for tarot and oracle cards. I encourage you for this spring reading to watch your sun, moon, and rising sign, as this will give you the most fulfilled reading, the most complete reading for you. Of course, you do you don't have to watch 3 videos, but if you feel called to, it's the way that you can get the most complete reading. And I will make sure to make a specific playlist for this spring reading so that you can find all the signs in the playlist and you can navigate between the videos a little bit easier. Before I get into the reading, I want to invite you to subscribe, and if you enjoy this reading, then the best way to support my work is to like, comment, share the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Your spring 2025 reading. Let's go. Okay, my Virgos, welcome to your reading. So if you're a Virgo sun, moon, or rising, this is going to be the reading for you for spring 2025. So March, April, and May. I'm super excited to be doing this reading for you guys. I have a spring themed tarot deck we're going to be using today. It is gorgeous. It is sparkly, as you can see. It's got a full theme of spring and bunnies and Easter colors and lots of butterflies. And look, it's full of sparkles, so I'm really excited to be using this deck today. I also have some pre-pulled oracle cards. We're actually going to start with that. I have pre-pulled them. I've not yet looked at them, so we're going to discover them together. So for my pre-pulled oracle cards, I have a goddess for you guys, so your divine energy, your guardian, your goddess for spring. I have an archetype, and then I have a couple of oracle cards, and then of course we'll move on to tarot. So first, let's start with your goddess for this spring season. Let's see, for my Virgos, we have Saraswati, who is an Hindu goddess. She is the Hindu goddess of learning, of music, of knowledge, of creativity, of the arts. You can see she's thinking, she's playing instruments, she's reading, she's meditating with mala beads. So super interesting for my Virgos. I love that. Okay, I'm going to look at all the cards and then I'll tell you what comes up. Your archetype, we have the Smith. It's linked to overthinking and taking action. Okay. And then in terms of your oracle cards, we have peace. Beautiful. And we have breathe. Okay, interesting energies for my Virgos in terms of, there's a few things coming up. So obviously the fact that your goddess for spring is Saraswati, there's going to be a big theme for my Virgos around learning this season. So maybe some of you are going to feel called to take a course, go back to school, learn a new language. She's also linked to, like I said, music, the arts. So maybe some of you are feeling called to listening to more music, learning how to play an instrument, taking some singing, potentially lessons, joining a choir, potentially reconnecting with an instrument you used to play as a child, joining a band, something, like hobbies related to music. She's also very helpful goddess to help remove any creativity blocks. So if my Virgos have been feeling a little bit uninspired in your life lately, springtime could feel a lot more inspiring, a lot more creative. You could be feeling called to doing things that relate to the arts, relate to creativity. I mean, we're talking about music and knowledge, but it could be dancing and moving your body. It could be around writing. It could be just generally speaking, infusing more creativity in your day-to-day life, feeling more playful and feeling a little bit more inspired. I'm hearing for my Virgos. There's a renewed sense of inspiration and a renewed sense of creativity, as well as a very big theme around learning. Like I said, taking course, expanding your knowledge, maybe reading books, listening to podcasts. Some of you are feeling called to take a certification at work. Maybe there's an exam you're preparing. Springtime, if there's any kind of learning, acquiring knowledge, you've been thinking about doing, this could be a very good time, a very powerful time to do that. So if any of you had any projects around that, great time to do that. Your archetype is the Smith. So for my Virgos, there is also a very big theme for your spring season around taking action and around overcoming this potentially overthinking that might be sometime present, and instead I'm hearing striking while the iron is hot, right? With the Smith archetype, it's related to like the blacksmith as a job. So it's related to people who are striking whilst the iron is hot, right? And so it relates to taking action, being decisive and acting on your ideas. So with these two combinations, we have for my Virgo, an energy for springtime of yes, acquiring knowledge, yes, learning new things, yes, potentially feeling called to being more creative, but also this knowledge that you're acquiring, putting that into action. So if you are learning a new language, you're invited to practice it and join a group where you can actually speak that language instead of just, learning at home on your own. If you are learning how to drive, you're invited to put that into practice and try and actually, book as many hours as you can to practice the driving and not just do the theory learning. There's something about putting your knowledge into action with this Smith archetype that could be really good for my Virgos. If you're learning how to, code, for example, you're invited to put that into practice and start creating your own website or start creating a website for a friend or something. Putting the knowledge you're acquiring into action is going to be super important for my Virgos. You're invited to use the knowledge and act on it. There could be some decisions you have to make as well in springtime, because the Smith is all about, like I said, striking while the iron is hot. There could be some opportunities coming up. Specifically, I'm hearing in the career world, you could be given some opportunities, some propositions, some offers, and you'll have to decide quickly, right? It's going to be a quick turnaround. Like maybe it's your boss coming to you and offering you a new project, offering you to join a team for a little bit. And I'm hearing from my Virgos, there won't be a lot of time to decide. So you're invited to be decisive, to not doubt. We have this idea of like removing overthinking and taking action. So that could be coming up from my Virgos. And then we also have these two cards, which is related to cultivating a sense of inner peace and a sense of specifically mental well-being for my Virgos. So I feel like, generally speaking, my Virgos, in this spring season, you're also gonna feel very called to nurture inner peace, a sense of quiet contemplation. And I see you really wanting to avoid drama, avoid gossip, avoid chaos, right? With peace and breeze, we really see that you guys are not gonna have any desire to get engaged in confrontation, in arguments, in disputes. If people are not agreeing, if people are starting to feel a little bit emotionally flammable, if you're seeing people around you who are starting to get into arguments, I see my Virgos really quickly removing themselves from this kind of chaotic energy, from these kinds of like conflicting energy. I see you wanting to avoid conflict, argument, dispute, drama, gossip at all costs, and on the contrary, really wanting to nurture a sense of peace, quiet contemplation, right? We have this breeze card, the peace card. So I see my Virgos really wanting to not get dragged down by chaotic noise of the world and wanting to nurture a sense of inner contemplation, quietness, maybe spending time with fewer people, maybe even spending time on your own could be a strong desires for my Virgo, because I see you wanting to learn new things, and because you're putting those things into practice, maybe this is also why you're removing yourself a little bit from the noise, from the busyness of the world, and from like all the chaoticness of the world, because you're focusing on other things. And so it's going to be important as well to give yourself times of quiet in this springtime. So maybe it's walks in nature, maybe it's doing some meditation, maybe it's giving yourself 5 minutes a day to do breathing exercises, whatever works for you guys. This is going to be very important to keep a sense of well-being for my Virgos in this spring season. And I think you're going to feel very called to, I'm getting hermit vibes, right? Which is one of your cards in tarot anyway. So I see you wanting to get into your cocoon a little bit and enjoying some me time, enjoying some quiet time, enjoying some time where nobody and nothing can disturb your peace, right? Which which is totally understandable, especially because the world feels very busy and chaotic right now. So it's important sometimes to give ourselves moments where we can recharge our batteries on our own, nurture our soul, maybe do some quiet contemplation, spend time in nature, all the things that can make your soul feel nourished and your mind feel clear and at peace. Okay, so we're gonna have a look now at your tarot cards. For my Virgos, Sun, Moon and Rising, we're gonna have a look first. Should be your main goal for this spring season. So what should be your main goal, your main aim for this season? Ace of Wands. Yeah, I'm really feeling a renewed sense of creativity for my Virgos. And look, Page of Pentacles. So it's all about a renewed sense of creativity, a renewed sense of energy, of imagination. You're feeling called again to, like I said, maybe take up a hobby you used to do as a child or when you were younger, like you used to play the piano and now you want to pick it up again, or you used to sing and now you want to join the choir or a music band again. I see you feeling more creative, more imaginative, more passionate about life in general, which is all, I mean, spring, it makes sense. In spring, generally speaking, it's a time where coming out of winter, we're feeling a little bit more creative, inspired. That's really one of the main goals of my Virgos, is to nurture this sense of passion, creativity, imagination, as well as with the Page of Pentacles. You're invited to really take one day at a time, my Virgos. Don't really overcrowd your spirit, your mind, your body, your soul in this springtime. Take one day at a time, do what you can, strike when the iron is hot, so you'll know when it's time to act, you'll know when it's time to take a decision, but balance that with moments of, like we said, quiet contemplation, meditation, taking care of yourself, self-care, rest, all of those things. For my Virgos, it's going to be a beautiful balance between learning new things, putting them into action, and taking moments where you can rest and take care of yourself. I see you kind of wanting to avoid the rat race, my Virgos, this springtime, and on the contrary, you're taking things at your own pace, you're taking things one day at a time, you're feeling inspired again, and so you're listening to your creativity, your passion, your inner fire as your compass, which is awesome, but you're using that not as a way to push and strive and feel like you have to be productive every day and you have to achieve and you have to force. On the contrary, you're embracing the idea of taking things one step at a time. You're on your own timing, my Virgos, in spring. You're taking things at your own pace. You're not letting other people or the world in general, societies at large, dictate your path, your journey, your choices. You're embracing the fact that you're on your own timing, and that's gonna actually nurture a sense of both accomplishment in your life and calm. So you're gonna manage really well, my Virgos, this springtime, to avoid feeling stressed out, feeling anxious, because you're not letting yourself be affected by the noise of the world, and on the contrary, you're doing your thing, you're focusing on your own lane, you're focusing on your own path, you're taking one day at a time, and that's very empowering and very healthy. So beautiful energies for my Virgo. I see you being very wise in springtime and being very good at balancing work and personal life, at balancing spending time with others and spending time on your own, and balancing doing things versus resting. So it's a very beautiful alchemy of energies for my Virgos, and I think again that's very wise. It's giving me wise energy, right? Which is wonderful. So let's have a look what you're invited to pay attention to, my Virgos, for this spring season. What are you invited to pay attention to? King of Wands. Okay, this King of Wands has been coming up for so many signs, it's crazy. It's truly one of the recurrent cards for a lot of my signs. Okay, and we have 7 of Cups here. Pay attention to where you direct your energy, my Virgos, at this springtime, because like I said, we have this beautiful mix of learning new things and knowing when it's time to put those things into action, and we also have this beautiful balance between doing things and taking time for rest, taking time for self-care, taking time to pause. There's a really strong focus for my Virgos, an invitation to pay attention to where you pour your energy, to where you pour your time, your effort. With the King of Wands, you're invited to pour time, energy, and effort into the things that make you feel alive, that nourish you, that sustain you, specifically everything related to creativity, imagination, passion projects. If any of you have passion projects you've been desiring to do things relating to your passions, your hobbies, even at work, if there's specific areas of your work that you feel passionate about. Maybe it's around your home, you feel passionate about changing things around your home, or you feel passionate about a certain relationship in your life. Whatever it is, the areas of your life where you feel passionate, where you feel that inner fire, where you feel like this is something that sustains me, that makes me feel alive, this is where you're invited to spend your energies, my Virgo. On the contrary, pay attention to the people, the situation, and the habits that drain your energy. With the Seven of Cups, we're invited to pay attention to things that are not sustaining us. We are invited to, and you're invited to not drain your energy into things, people, and situations that are not sustaining creativity, imagination, and passion. So you're really invited in springtime to pay attention where you spend your energy, your time, your money, and make sure you're not wasting it on things, projects, people that are not sustaining you, that are kind of like a drain. So this could be also an invitation to potentially pay attention to some energetic drains in your life. If there's any relationships or situation or habits that you have where you feel like this is really draining your energy, maybe it's time to address that. Maybe for some of you it's the time you spend on social media. Maybe for some of you it's something that you do every day that you're realizing is no longer good for you. Maybe for some of you it's a story you tell yourself, you're realizing it's no longer sustaining you. Maybe for some of you it's a relationship, you have a friendship or an acquaintance that you're realizing is draining your energy. You're realizing it's not really healthy for you anymore to hang out with this person. Whatever it is, you could feel called, my Virgo, to pay attention to those energetic drains and potentially move away from that. And on the contrary, focus on the things, people, situations, habits that make you feel powerful, fierce, creative, imaginative, and just completely empowered, like this King of Wands. So it's gonna be a game of energetics for my Virgos this springtime, right? It's paying attention where you spend your energy, where you spend your time, where you spend your money, making sure you spend it in places and, like I said, people and habits that nourish this inner fire. Okay, so super important for my Virgos to keep that in mind. Let's have a look at the potential blessings for my Virgos for this springtime. Potential blessings. We have the Five of Cups and the Eight of Swords, which are not necessarily cards people would associate with blessings, but for me, they're wonderful blessings, because you know what? When the Five of Cups and the Eight of Swords, come up in the blessing position, it means that my Virgos are finally freeing themselves again from potential cages and labels and situations that make you feel bound, that makes you feel blocked. So if my Virgos have been feeling stuck, if you've been feeling completely uninspired, if you've been feeling blocked, if you've been facing walls, metaphorical walls in your life, some dead ends, you've been feeling like you can't find solutions, or that you're just facing constantly a certain blockage, you can't get out of a certain situation, there's liberation coming in the springtime. And I'm actually hearing for my Virgos, for a lot of you, it's as soon as March. So take heart, my Virgos, knowing that you are gonna be able to free yourself from any blockages, and that really this springtime, and particularly March, is gonna give you opportunities to no longer feel stuck. So there's an idea here around leaving grief behind, leaving pain behind, leaving like potentially disappointment behind, and finding solutions that are removing you from any feeling of stuckness, of being bound, of being obligated, of not being free, and on the contrary, embracing change, embracing freedom, and removing yourself from situations, people's habits that make you feel like you are being blocked or like you're in a metaphorical cage. So there's a sense of liberation for my Virgos in springtime. There's a sense of finally you're able to get over a blockage, you're able to get a breakthrough, which is wonderful. I feel like some of my Virgos were really praying for that. If that's the case, know it's coming. If, I don't know, an example, if you've been looking for a job for a really long time, there could be some breakthrough there. If you've been stuck in a relationship that is unhealthy and toxic and you've not been able to find a way out, there could be a way out in this springtime. If it's around potentially potentially a personal struggle of like fighting with your inner saboteur, your inner critic. There's also breakthroughs coming in spring, so have faith, my Virgos. This is a beautiful blessing of liberation and of regaining some freedom, which is wonderful. I'm very happy for you because this is beautiful. Okay, we're gonna wrap up the reading with some self-care messages. Let's see what your guides have to say for my Virgos. Let's see a little self-care message for springtime. We have live in the moment. I told you, right? We had the Page of Pentacles, the idea of taking one day at a time. This is coming back. On this day, strive to live in the moment. Only speak about positive things in your life and avoid bringing up the past, especially negative memories or situation. Your goal to experience how difficult it is to live in the present. Healing is rapidly enhanced when you're focused in the now. This is reminding of the Page of Pentacles and also of these two cards, peace and breathe. An invitation to ground, to be in the moment, to clear your mind whenever you can spend time in mindfulness in this season, my Virgos. It will bring a lot of blessings, I think, and it will be very beneficial for you, so we love that. And then to wrap up the reading, we'll pull one last little card, one last little message from your higher self, from your guides. Let's see what we have for my Virgos for springtime. Whoop. We have take control of your future by taking action. Exactly. Remember we had dismissed this idea of like striking whilst the iron is hot. I see a lot of my Virgos learning new things in this springtime and it's wonderful, but don't forget to actually put this like knowledge into action. You're gonna feel called to act. At some point you're gonna feel like you're ready, you're gonna feel like you know enough and now you can take action. Don't hesitate, trust yourself, you've got this, my Virgo. Whenever you feel this inspired moment, this inspiration to act, I see you succeeding and managing to create beauty. So wonderful readings for my Virgo. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it brought you something of value. If it did, don't hesitate to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends if you want. These are all free ways to support my work. It really helps my channel. So thank you so much if you take the time to do that. Thank you for your presence, for being here. I want to wish you a beautiful season to come, and until my next video, I'm sending you lots of good vibes and keep navigating the waves of your soul. Bye!